Am I just delusional, or people asking other people out on dates is kind of like old school? Like the last time, I don't even remember. I don't even remember the last time someone was like, "Hey, would you want to go on a date with me?" Like, I'm gonna start saying it.
What happened? Where did all the men go?
Most of you know who this individual is right here. This is Willow Smith, the daughter of one Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. Yes, you are not delusional. Men are not asking you to go out in the morning. There's several reasons for that. For one, your presentation, okay? You have multiple nose rings. You have a ring in your eyebrow and your lip. You probably have other piercings on various parts of your body as well as tattoos. I think that's one of your neck right there. You have probably a plethora of piercings and tattoos all over your body, and you're a weirdo. You come from a trio of weirdos, being your mother and your father. They're delusional and dysfunctional as hell. And here we have you. And, there was actually a story that came out yesterday to follow up this, where Will Smith was on an interview and he was talking about the experience that his daughter gave him that kind of, I guess, opened his eyes to his family and whatever. Whatever BS. But he was saying that he was on tour with his daughter. They were on the Whip My Hair tour, like probably one of the most viral songs she's ever had in her whole freaking life. And they were on tour overseas. She came off stage after doing a performance and she told her dad that she was ready to go home. Now, mind you, they're still on tour. Will tried to explain to her, like, look, we promised Jay-Z, I guess the person who was funding this whole thing, that we have to finish this tour. You promised. She says, well, no, I didn't promise. You promised. Will was like, no, we together said we were going to do this, so we have to finish it, right? This the follow through. You start something, you finish it. Of course, we're talking about Willow Smith here, which is a woman. Now she goes and says, she tells her dad, okay, dad, no problem. The next day she comes out of her hotel room and Will is thinking she's going to prepare for the next show. She cut off all her hair and dyed it pink. And so at that point, they were forced to stop the tour because the one thing that sold the tour, which was her hair, she cut it off.
Enemy spotted.
Will, talk a little bit about how family has affected your journey.
It was probably Willow's Whip My Hair. It's 2010. I'll never forget, we were in Dublin, Ireland. Willow comes off stage. She was on tour with Justin Bieber, hit record, 20,000 kids whipping their hair in Dublin. And she comes off stage and was like, I'm done, Daddy. I was like, yeah, baby, that was a great show. She was like, no, I'm done. I'm ready to go home. And I was like, well, no, you can't go home, sweetie. You promised Mr. Jay-Z that you were going to do these 30 days of this tour. I said, no, Daddy, you promised Mr. Jay-Z. And I was like, sweetie, I get it, but we promised as a family and you have to finish. And she looked at me, I'll never forget the look in her eyes, and she was like, it doesn't matter to you that I'm finished, Daddy? And I was like, well, yes, sweetie, it matters, but you can't be finished. And she was like, oh, okay. So we go back to the hotel, and Jada had just left, so I'm there. It's my first night of daddy duty. And she came out the next morning, and she had shaved her head bald. In the middle of her Whip My Hair tour, she shaved her head bald. And it was like a magical moment. I was like, got it.
And so this woman here, this young woman, has been rebellious probably her entire life, especially since Jada got into her head. Jada has taught her how to please herself, to be getting yoni steams on, freaking red table talk and all this kind of stuff. And this red table talk pretty much destroyed their relationship. Well, it might have been destroyed before then, but the red table talk definitely put a big dent in their marriage between Will and Jada. But in any case, why am I not approaching no more? When's the last time a man or somebody asked me, would you go on a date with me? And of course, we're monsters, we're weirdos, we're approaching you no more is not cool no more, right? So there's a whole lot of things that go into that, which I'll explain here in a second, which most of you already know. But no, men aren't approaching anymore. For one, how you look. For two, you look like a liberal. You look like the poster child for what a liberal woman looks like. Who would approach you? All right? And what she's going to say here in a second even further reinforces it. But you say, even somebody you don't even know, you wouldn't approach them. You said we were creeps. You said we were bears, which you said you chose the bear, right? We're going to get into that in a second. No, we're not letting that bear conversation go, just so you know.
Again. Okay, yeah, people still hang out in a romantic way, obviously, but like to explicitly ask someone out on a date and use those specific words, especially someone that you don't really know that well, like that's like a different kind of thing. Like, would you want to go out on a date with me? Like, when was the last time someone asked you that?
And again, that's back in the day, and I know we're not in that time anymore. I'm just the old head. But yeah, back in the day, men would, walk up to somebody or a woman that they found attractive and would be like, you know what? I find you attractive. You look pleased to me. I would like to get to know you more. Can we go out on a date? That's how they, and yes, there were some men out there that were devious and did bad things to women, but the overall majority just wanted to get to know a woman and date her or court her, whatever you want to call it, for a serious relationship. But no, you chose the bear. You say, you know what? Remember the argument? Well, if you're out in the woods, who would you choose, a man or a bear? And you women out there said that a man would be less predictable than a four-legged animal that is at the top of the food chain that has proven to be one of the least predictable organisms on the planet, next to sharks and lions and eagles and things like that would do bad things to another animal, let alone a human being. And so we left the forest. And now you're coming back out saying, oh, well, guess what happened to us and the bear while we was in the woods? We don't care anymore. Because we went on and found other things. Yes, some of us dated outside our race. Some of us dated outside our country. Oh, well, right? And now you're coming back like, why men don't approach us? That's the whole thing now that women are saying. Why they don't approach us no more? Social media, dating apps, Me Too, believe all women, career, I make more money than you, blah, 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 blah. So here we are. Now Willow Smith's out here saying, why men don't approach us no more. When's the last time a man asked me to go out on a date? It's not going to happen, Willow. I just want you to know it is not going to happen, especially for somebody like you, how you look, the family you came from, one of the most dysfunctional families in Hollywood. One of the weirdest couples in Hollywood that still has rumors out there that hasn't been debunked, like, is Will Smith on a rainbow? All right? Who else has Jada been with that, other people knew? Like, what was the guy's name? The singer dude? I forgot his name. But you know what I'm talking about. He was a young man, got exposed by Jada early, which is probably too early for him. Now he's all messed up in the head because of Jada. Look at Will. He's still traumatized about the whole Tupac thing, and then the slap on stage with Chris Rock. I mean, he's never going to recover from that because of Jada. Both of these people, these individuals are toxic AF. And now we got Willow following in the footsteps of this toxic and dysfunctional family. I mean, you can't make it up, y'all. You know what I mean? But anyway, y'all see what's going on. Willow Smith is asking the question that a lot of women are asking, and you really should look to yourself for the answer. That's enough of my time. Again, thank you for taking another episode of the Working Man Podcast. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.